Wars. In the summer of 1945, the world was holding its breath. World War II had raged for 6 long years, leaving a trail of devastation and claiming over 60 million lives. In Europe, the guns had fallen silent with Germany's surrender in May. But in the Pacific, the fight against Japan burned on, fierce and relentless. The battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa had been brutal, a horrifying preview of what an invasion of mainland Japan would look like. American military planners projected staggering casualty numbers, potentially millions of lives, both American and Japanese. Faced with this grim forecast, the United States was desperate for a way to force a swift end to the war, to stop the bloodshed once and for all. Unknown to the public, a monumental secret had been unfolding for years. It was called the Manhattan Project, the most ambitious and expensive scientific endeavor in history. Of course, the United States, thousands of the world's brightest minds worked in complete secrecy, racing to harness the power of the atom. Their goal: to build a weapon of unprecedented power. The result of their labor was the atomic bomb, a device capable of unleashing the energy of the stars on Earth. By mid-1945, the bomb was ready. The decision of whether and how to use it rested in the hands of a few leaders, a choice that would echo through history and define the future of humanity. Hiroshima was chosen as the primary target. It was a city of significant military and industrial importance, a vital hub for Japan's war effort. Crucially, it had been largely spared from the conventional bombing raids that had leveled other Japanese cities. This made it a clean slate, a place where the full, terrifying power of the new weapon could be measured without ambiguity. The morning of August 6, 1945, dawned clear over Hiroshima. Pre-dawn darkness. At 2:45 a.m., a B-29 Superfortress bomber named the Enola Gay lifted off from the island of Tinian. Cradled in its bomb bay was Little Boy, a single bomb powered by uranium. At 8:15 a.m., local time. As people in Hiroshima went about their morning routines heading to work, school, or the market, the Enola Gay reached its target. The bomb bay doors opened, and Little Boy began its 43-second fall. At 600 meters above the city, it detonated. The first thing was the light. A silone, blinding flash, brighter than 1,000 suns, that seared the sky. In that single, horrifying instant, the heart of the city was vaporized. Temperatures at the hypocenter soared to several thousand degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. Buildings simply ceased to exist. Steel girders melted like wax. In the most chilling testament to the bomb's power, human shadows were permanently etched onto stone steps and walls, stark silhouettes left behind where people had been standing just a moment before. The blast wave followed, a physical force that flattened everything in its path. An estimated 70,000 people, men, women, and children died instantly. The city was annihilated. Nearly 70% of its buildings were either destroyed or damaged beyond repair. But the destruction wasn't over. Broken gas lines and overturned stoves ignited countless fires, which quickly merged into a colossal firestorm. A swirling vortex of flame that consumed what little remained of the wooden city. For those who survived the initial blast, a new kind of hell began. They suffered from unimaginable burns, were blinded by the flash, and were pierced by flying debris. Dazed and in shock, they stumbled through the smoldering ruins. Many in a silent procession, searching for loved ones they would never find again. But the bomb's most insidious weapon was invisible. The explosion had poisoned the very air, water, and soil with deadly radiation. In the days and weeks that followed, tens of thousands more people began to die from a mysterious and terrifying illness. Radiation sickness caused their hair to fall out, their bodies to bleed internally, and their organs to fail. Doctors were helpless, witnessing symptoms they had never seen before. The survivors, who had come to be known as the Hibakusha, were marked for life not just by physical scars, but by lifelong health problems, deep psychological trauma, and the social stigma of being an atomic bomb survivor. Despite the absolute devastation of Hiroshima, Japan's War Council remained deadlocked. They did not surrender. So, 3 days later, on August 9th, the world watched in horror as it happened again. A second atomic bomb, this one plutonium-based and nicknamed Fat Man, was dropped on the city of Nagasaki. The city's hilly terrain partially contained the blast, but it was still catastrophic. Another 40,000 people were killed in an instant. This second blow, combined with the Soviet Union's declaration of war on Japan the same day, finally broke the stalemate. The message was now undeniable. On August 15, 1945, the people of Japan gathered around their radios. For the first time in history, they heard the voice of their emperor, Hirohito, in a somber address. He announced Japan's unconditional surrender. World War II was over. For the United States and its allies, the bombings were framed as a tragic but necessary act. The official narrative was that they had saved countless lives by preventing a costly invasion of Japan. This justification would become one of the most intensely debated topics of the 20th century. Around the world, reactions were a complex mix of relief and horror. While many celebrated the end of the long and brutal war, others were appalled by the sheer scale of the destruction and the nature of this new weapon. Even some of the scientists who had worked on the Manhattan Project expressed profound regret, realizing they had unlocked a force that could potentially destroy all of civilization. The atomic age had begun. A new kind of fear had entered the human consciousness, the fear of total global annihilation. Hiroshima was rebuilt from the ashes, a testament to the resilience of its people. But it was forever changed. Today, the city stands not as a monument to war, but as a global symbol of peace and remembrance. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park preserves the skeletal remains of the Genbaku Dome, one of the few structures left standing near the hypocenter. Every year on August 6th, the peace bell rings, and the city falls silent to honor the memory of the victims. The legacy of Hiroshima stretches far beyond the city itself. It reshaped global politics, ushering in the Cold War and a terrifying nuclear arms race. For decades, the world lived under the shadow of mutually assured destruction. Treaties and international agreements have worked to control the spread of these weapons. Yet thousands of nuclear warheads still exist today, a constant, quiet threat. Hiroshima forces us to ask difficult questions. Was the bombing truly necessary? Could the war have been ended another way? And what is our responsibility as a species, now that we possess the power to destroy ourselves? There are no easy answers, only lessons. Lessons written in ash, pain, and memory. More than 75 years have passed. The voices of the Hibakusha are growing fewer, but their message to the world remains as urgent as ever. Hiroshima is not just a chapter in a history book, it is a warning. It is a powerful reminder that our technological progress must always be guided by moral restraint. To remember Hiroshima is to remember our shared duty, to choose peace over conflict, cooperation over destruction, and humanity over all. Thank you for watching. If you found this video meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from our shared past.